Greetings, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to my new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast series. We have been overwhelmed with the responses that people have shared from listening to these messages on my SiriusXM show over the years. Those listeners, and they're sharing my show with their network, telling people about it, telling their family members, their friends, and their coworkers about this show and the impact it's having on their lives. That's the main reason that this show is now #1 for self-help in America, and I'm very grateful. Yet, we realize that many people do not have satellite radio and therefore could not experience for themselves the message. They could not get it for themselves. So we are now sharing these messages with everyone via this new podcast. Enjoy it and share it with your network. And let's help even more people to do more, be more, and achieve more. Tell everybody so that they can live a Wealthy Ways life as well. Welcome to the new Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. And remember, your best is yet to come.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on? Are you steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My. It's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again, 'cause I'm telling you it don't. The fact is, it only takes a minute to make up your mind that now is your time to make your run. It only takes a minute, 60 seconds to begin to decide to win. Just get it on. Just get it on.
That's right. It only takes a minute. It only takes a minute to change your life. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Oh, I love saying that. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to say Dr. Willie Jolley. And I am grateful for another opportunity to be on the air with you. That's right, with you. Across America, from border to border, coast to coast, as my friend Joe Madison says. And as I like to say to people globally who listen to this show, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for your responses, your input, your ideas, the emails. I want to thank you for your love and support all the years, and how many of you still surprise me when you see me in your city or in your town and you come up and say, I listen every week to your show. Thank you. Well, I start the same way. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Greetings to everybody across America and around the world listening to this interview. I'm excited and I'm grateful for another opportunity at life. That's right, another opportunity at life. I give God glory. I start every show by thanking God for life and strength and health. And I'm grateful for every day, every time I get an opportunity to give him glory, because he blesses me mightily, and I'm grateful for it. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on the air, be on the show, but I'm mostly importantly grateful for life and strength and health. And I believe we ought to do that. Now, I got something exciting to tell everybody. I got something very exciting to tell everybody. Listen carefully. That the Mega Millions lottery was just recently. And I want to let everybody know I won the lottery. That's right, I won the lottery. Now, somebody I told that to today. They said, "How much did you win?" I said, "Oh no, I didn't win any money. I didn't win any money because I didn't buy a ticket. But I won the lottery this morning. But I win the lottery every morning. Every morning I wake up, I win the lottery. That's right. Yeah, you got it. That's right. I win the lottery every day. I get another shot at life. And I want you to have a mindset of the same, that it's a lottery when you get a chance to give another day of life, and you get another opportunity to live. It's a lottery. And if you woke up in America, you really won the lottery. You know, I think it was Warren Buffett who said that if you woke up in America, then you have won the lottery. Or if you live in America, there are people struggling to get here because there's opportunity. Are there issues? Yeah. Are there problems? Yeah. There's sexism, racism, ageism. There are a lot of isms. But excellence can overcome any of those isms, and a mindset that will say, I am not going to settle for my present place. I'm going to give God the glory, and I'm going to the next level. Okay? So I want you to get excited about it. You've got an opportunity to do something massive, major, exciting, and now's your time to do it. So I'm excited about today's show. You are in for a barn burner, a magnificent interview today. You're getting ready. My guest today is a gentleman who I am so excited because he is a make it happen guy, not only here in America, but literally around the world. And he's here in studio with me. That's a rarity. You know, I mostly get people and they're on the phone, but he came and he said he was going to come in studio today and be a part of this studio experience. Let me tell you about him. He has successfully bootstrapped 8 different products and services that is hitting the $1 million sales mark from scratch, with each without funding, without taking on debt, or even having a real business plan. His story in business has been featured in Fox Business News, Time.com, USA Today, Smart Money, MSN Money. He has been on every major, Wall Street Journal, and all the other. He's the author of a new best-selling book on entrepreneurial success, and has created all sorts of programs and ideas. His new book is called Maverick Startup: 11 X Factors to Bootstrap from Zero to 6 Figures and Beyond. He is passionate about catalyzing and connecting innovative 21st century entrepreneurs to co-create new business thoughts. He has his Maverick program. We're going to talk more about that. And he hangs out with the best and the brightest of those who are high-impact entrepreneurs like Jesse James, Tony Heish, Tony Hawk, Tim Ferriss, John Paul DeJorio, as well as his good buddy, Sir Richard Branson, who he spends at least 1 week a year on Necker Island with Sir Richard. This young man, he'll tell you his story about coming to America with nothing and building something. The one and only, my dear friend, Yanik Silver. Yanik, thank you for being on with me.
Yeah, I'm excited, Willie. It's going to be great.
Man, look, everybody here, when they heard your voice here in the radio station, said, wow, what a voice. You got a real radio voice, and so we're grateful. Well, I gave them the thumbnail sketch about who Yanik Silver is. Why don't you give them the rest of the story?
Yeah, so my family came over from Russia. I got to start there because it makes sense, because the immigrant success mentality runs really strong in my family. And we came over when I was about 2.5 from Russia. And my dad, like many immigrants, came over with very little money in his pocket, $256, not much use of the English language, and he decided to make a go of the American dream. And he built a medical equipment sales and service company. I worked for them. When I was 14, I was cold calling on my own doctors, telemarketing. When I was 16, the deal was, so remember, my dad's a Russian immigrant, so he goes, okay, Mr. Yanik, go make some sales. And so, he's like, okay, you got a car, but, go make some sales. So I'm cold calling on doctors, and, that's how I got my start. Like, my friends are at the beach, they're hanging out, having fun, and I'm trying to sell medical equipment. But it was an amazing opportunity to get probably like a 10-year head start on any of my peers, learning about marketing, learning about sales. And one of my doctor clients actually gave me a tape, a J. Abraham tape, and it kind of turned the lights on. It was like, wow, I don't have to be out knocking on doors. And I just got fascinated by this idea that you could go out and actually write ads or letters or whatever to get people to raise their hands and say, yeah, I'm interested in what you got. And it changed our sales strategy completely. We went from a regional player to a national player. And, my dad's looking at these ads. He's like, nobody's going to read all this. I'm like, I call my dad Joe. I'm like, Joe, let's just try it. And he's like, okay. And people are giving us their credit cards. They're raising their hands. We're selling more stuff that we can never sell before, only face to face. And that was like one of those amazing turning points, those pivotal moments. And, from there, it turned into the online marketing side back in 99, 2000. really just paying attention to what was going on, and woke up with this idea at 3 o'clock in the morning for a site called Instant Sales Letters. And that kind of blew up. Within 3 months, I was on track to do 6 figures. And people were like, well, what'd you do? Can you help me? And so that turned into my next career, just helping other people take what's in their heads, their content, their knowledge, helping them sell it online. And, and I've been doing that for a while. And then 6-7 years ago, just realized that I want to do something a little bit different. Didn't want to just be an internet marketing kind of guru, and wanted to really change the world in some way. And that's what this Maverick philosophy is all about.
Wow. Well, tell us a little more about Maverick philosophy, because you got a Maverick program that people around the world join up and get a part of. And tell us what this whole concept of Maverick is.
Yeah, it's about 3 main things. And so if you think about like 3 interconnected circles, you start with, a lot of entrepreneurs, they start with just a dollar sign. That's fine. I mean, we want to get you to that next level in your finances, because that means you can do so many more things. So the next level in your business, so the dollar sign is one circle. Next circle is a happy face. And it's about, creating more fun, creating that entrepreneurial lifestyle, living life on your own terms, and you setting the rules. And then the third one that's interconnected is I put a heart there. And I talk about, giving and impact. But actually incorporating all of those each are interconnected. Like the more you give, as you talk about this all the time, the more you get.
Right.
And it's not always from the exact same source. It doesn't matter. The more fun you're having, the more fun your customers are having interacting with you, the more your business is going to go up. So they're all interconnected, but by just focusing on that dollar part, we're missing everything else that really can be the leverage points.
Wow, that's profound. Folks, I hope you got that. This is profound thinking, because it's not just about money. Money is important, but money by itself is not all that's going to keep you going over the long term, or money by itself is not all that's going to make a difference and impact the world so that you can leave a legacy, because it's not just about what you do here. It's about what you're going to leave, because one day we all going to leave here. And so what do you leave? What kind of legacy? Even the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's 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 children. So the more fun you have, the more impact you make, then the more money you can have, because you're living in congruence, and you're working and you're enjoying the process, and it becomes fun to get up and do what you do. And that's what Maverick is. And you've done, this Maverick program, I went to his Maverick, one of his Maverick seminars. There were there were about 400 or 500 people in this big room, and it was 3 or 4 days, and people came from around the world to get involved in this, and they were sharing ideas, they were sharing concepts, people were excited, it was a buzz in the room. It was fantastic, Yanik.
We keep it really fun. Yeah, the one you're talking about is an underground seminar, and it's very experiential, right? So I think learning happens one way, but learning is accelerated when it's a fun experience, and people can connect and bond in different ways. And so we have a spy theme every year. We play pranks on the speakers. We have flash mobs. It's a good time, and some of the best come out there to share what they're doing, and the world's power players on the internet come out to that event.
Man, it's awesome. Well, you came to America. Your dad came when y'all had nothing, and you started selling.
Medical
equipment,
Yeah.
and you were doing cold calls and sales. Let's talk about that for a minute. How important is it to be selling your ideas? How important it is to get over the fear of selling, or the concept that sales is bad?
Yeah, you got to sell. But here's the best thing right now is we got this golden opportunity, Willie, because if something's good, it's going to take off. And you can put it out there without much risk. So I'm a big fan of selling first, and then saying, okay, now I'm gonna fulfill on it. And that's how my very first product started. Was I published a kit to doctors, helping them grow their practice. And I actually put out ads for it, and we sold it for $900. And then after I peeled myself off the ceiling, I'm like, oh, I got to go make this thing. And wrote a letter to the doctor saying where it's going to be republished. I'm not going to charge your card until then. And I got to work 3 o'clock in the morning, many nights working on that thing.
Wow. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to my guest, Yanik Silver. Many of you in the internet or information marketing or the internet marketing space know him as one of the gurus. And for those who don't know him, you're going to hear more about him and how he's going to help you to be a maverick, and how you can create millions out of your information and your mind. You're listening to Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And for sure, the best is yet to come.
Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and if you're enjoying this information you're hearing on this podcast, I want to invite you to get even more great information on my new free gift page on my website. Go to wjspeaks.com and hit the All Access badge. On that page, you will find information and resources specifically designed to help you to have greater success. Free ebooks, music, all sorts of interesting and informational interviews for my XM show. I'm telling you, this is a great page. And why do I do it? Because I've learned that the more we give, the more we get. And the more we help other people to grow and go to the next level, the more we receive in our business. So we want to help you. Tell your friends about it. Go to Facebook and get my information. Go to my website, get my free resources, and get on wjspeaks.com and hit that All Access badge. It looks like a backstage pass. Click it. You'll get behind the scenes information to the special page to help you grow. All we want in return, all we ask is that you pass it on, because the more you give, the more you get. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
Motivated, highly motivated, motivated, gonna take you to the top. Motivated, highly motivated, motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated. It made me sick, but it got me motivated. I knew that this was not where I was meant to be. I didn't want to stay, but I was too afraid to leave. Then one day I got my check, there was almost nothing there. I went to the boss, he laughed and said he didn't care. My kids were at home hungry, I was about to lose my home. That's when I decided I had to make it on my own. Said I, gonna take it to the top. I said I'm never gonna stop. My friends said I was crazy when I told them all goodbye. But the only one who's crazy is the one who's afraid to try. They said I'd never make it, said I would not survive. But I knew I had to make it, it was either do or die. So I grabbed hold of my dream and I put it in my heart. I stepped out on my faith and learned to really trust in God. Knew I had to fight with all my power. The things that happened, blessings came hour after hour.
Awesome. You're listening to Dr. Willie Jolley. Welcome, everybody across the country. I hope you all are going to my website. I got two websites now I want to share with everybody because recently I spoke at the First Baptist Church of Glenarden in Glenarden, Maryland, and it was incredible. The response has been just overwhelming. And so I did a message, a setback set up for a comeback, and the power, not just of the setback or the comeback, but the power of the setup, and how we are set up often by God to do something big and bold with our lives. And what we have to do is not get discouraged, not give up, but keep moving forward with an expectation that good things will come from our efforts. So if you want to hear that message, I want to encourage you to go to my new website. That's right, my new website, which is jollygoodnews.org. Jollygoodnews.org. And you can actually see this message from First Baptist Church of Glenarden actually live and in living color on my website. All right? And some people have even put it up on YouTube, so you can look for it there as well. But I'm excited about the fact that people are really buzzing about this message and how to turn your setbacks into comebacks. Also, if you're not on my newsletter, make sure to sign up, because I'll give you the tips from each one of these great interviews, whether it's a Yanik Silver, whether it's a Colin Powell, whether it's a Les Brown, whether it's a Tom Hopkins, whether it's a Jay Abraham, whoever it is, we're going to bring the best and the brightest to you, the A-listers. And so my guest today is another A-lister. Yanik Silver has made millions of dollars helping people to get their ideas out and get them to grow. Let me read something from this book. It's called Maverick Startup. Maverick Startup. And the power of visioning a positive future. he attended a seminar with a gentleman named Ari, and he said, one of the biggest contributors on the level of creativity in our organization is the regularity with which we teach, use, and stick to the visioning process. We start pretty much every planning effort with a draft of a positive vision of the future. And we do it at every level of the organization, whether we're working on visions for a business 5 years out, a project that will be done in 5 months, or a dinner special that will be on the menu at 5 tonight. We're pretty consistent, beginning with the end in mind. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the gentleman, Ari Weinsweg from Zingerman's, and they got an incredible business. So, I want to give him credit. And we use that same process of the visioning, right? Like we've created a painted picture for our different companies, and it creates the framework for what's going to happen. And I don't have to know exactly how it's going to happen. But if I got, okay, this is what it looks like, and I give myself enough flexibility to know it's not always going to be the exact same, probably a good friend of yours, Willie, Brian Tracy.
Yep.
Back when I was a young lad, 18, 19, I attended a Brian Tracy seminar. And Brian talks about goal setting. And he's like, okay, just write down, your top 10 goals right now, whatever's most burning desire for you, top 10. And I lost that paper, right? I found it like in a move. And it's pretty funny. Like the stuff I wrote in there, it happened, but sometimes even better. Like, so sometimes you need to give yourself enough of that framework and enough flexibility to make sure that it happens in the right way and let things conspire and the serendipities and the synchronicities happen in the way that they need to sometimes a much better. Like, you talked about Richard Branson, right?
Yes.
So, I don't know if he's my very good friend, but he's definitely become a mentor and someone that I, have always looked up to. And I had in my life list, have lunch with Richard. And what if the universe only said, okay, that's what he wants, that's only what he's going to get? Not only have I had, countless lunches with Richard now, and dinners and hung out with him, and been able to spend now 5 weeks on his island, and even slept in his house for 2 weeks.
Wow.
If the universe said, okay, we're just going to give him exactly what he wants, then, and you got to give yourself enough of that framework and the vision to sometimes have a much bigger future than you even think.
Wow. Folks, this is huge because if you listen to my speeches often, you'll hear me talk about the power of vision. And I share a story about Walt Disney and how he started Disneyland. We all know about Disneyland back in the 50s and early 60s. And then he started thinking about his next move and where he wanted to do something bigger and bolder and greater. So he went to Florida and bought a bunch of swampland and filled it in and started Disney World, and started building it because he had this vision of it. And then halfway through the construction, he got sick and he died. And when it finally opened a couple years later, a lady came up to his brother on opening day, Roy Disney, and said, "Isn't it sad that Walt didn't get to see this?" And Roy said, "Oh, it's not sad. It's because Walt saw it that is here today." And what is your vision, folks? What are you dreaming of? One of the things I love about Yanik is he has not only the fact that he visions about these businesses and these events and these multi-million-dollar experiences that come true, but he also has fun in the process. He goes and does these great zero gravity flights, flying MiG jets in Russia, going on African safaris, scuba diving in between tectonic plates in Iceland, or helping create sustaining villages in Haiti and impacting people's lives and making a difference. Because he said, I want to do this, I want to vision it, and then he goes about doing it. How many of you would like to do that? How many of you would like to do that? As I said, I won the lottery. How many would like to win the lottery every day by the fact you're living the life that you love? Not just hitting the money, but more importantly, changing your mindset so that you can do it over and over again. Now, let's talk a little more, Yanik, because there's some great concepts in this book about how you have done many of the things you have done in the mindset. See, let's talk about mindset. It really is about mindset. The success is a mindset. And if you start to change your mindset, you can start to change the results you get in life. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You're always growing, you're always expanding. That mindset piece is never final.
Right. And I think one of the things is constantly growing yourself. Now, you talk about the fact that you tell people high margins, premium prices. There's some real secrets to success throughout this book. First, you start with the big idea of the hook, right?
Yeah. The big idea is something where, it's got to live with the big idea, because right now there's too many competitors out there in every single space, which is good. That means people are spending money. That means that they're that your idea has legs. If an idea doesn't, if you don't have a competitor, I get a little bit scared. Sometimes it could be something like a blue ocean strategy, which is a big business strategy book. But a lot of times those are tougher to pull off. You want to go into a marketplace a lot of times when there are competitors, but do something different, make a big impact, and it starts with that big idea. And so that big idea, I talked about instant sales letters as being my very first product, one of my first $1 million products. And that big idea, I call it a fish product. Everyone has heard, you've heard this before, Willie, if you hand the man a fish, you feed him for a day.
Right.
If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say that, it's BS. I can't say what I really think of it, but it's not. That's why I call it a fish product. People want, handed to them. That's what instant sales letters was. It was fill in the blank sales letter templates for any sort of business that they could use, and they're already proven using proven psychology and direct response and so forth. And so I've had a lot of success using that concept. The very first one with the doctors, we give them these patient attraction toolkits. They're doing liposuction, they're doing blepharoplasty, they're doing whatever. It had pre-done educational reports, press releases, office signage, whatever they needed to go out and go promote that the procedure. And that was a big draw that drove the sale. So if you can think about that, I see a lot of my friends and colleagues doing the same thing with their online businesses. Is if you can give them that kind of magic pill, but it really, really actually works. That's the fish product.
Here's a question I want to ask, and this is probably the question that seems to be begging for an answer. You said how you got to get people to raise their hand and say yes. Okay, I want that. I want that. Well, what do you ask them? How do you phrase the question? How do you set up the conversation to get people to say, okay, I want that? What would be your strategy to tell some entrepreneurs, here's what you should be doing to get people to say yes?
The biggest thing is you want to think about what's. I mean, it's so trite, but it's true. It's what's in it for them, right?
Yep.
And we always want to talk about our drill, but really people want the whole. So they want what the end benefit is, and that end benefit, the closer we can get to their ultimate end benefit, is the more they're going to be excited. So if I asked you, Willie, are you interested in this? We have a keyboard in front of us. You're gonna be like, I don't know. What's it going to do for me?
Right.
So, but if you're like, if I said, well, this keyboard is going to, save you time, it's going to allow you to take all the great ideas that you got in your head, put them into something that is going to be available forever and ever. Your kids are going to see, your grandkids, it's going to be your legacy. Now, are you maybe a little bit more excited about this keyboard? Because now I just talked about one little piece of what it does.
Yes. So you start with the end result. When you're selling, folks, what it very clearly is when you're selling, start with what they're going to get out of it. What's in it for them? What do they get at the end of the day? Revenue, what you just said, it kind of is not the drill. I'm going to the store to look for the best drill.
Yeah.
Because they really don't care about the drill. They want the whole.
Exactly.
I want the whole. What's going to give me the whole more effectively, efficiently, and going to be more cost effective and make it easy for me? Well, Black & Decker has one, and this one has one, and that one. But this is the one that will get you there quickest. Oh, and it's a little more than, but I'll pay for it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be hard. I mean, think about everyone's buying stuff in their own lives every single day. Stop for that extra second and be like, okay, why did I buy that? And sometimes it's even psychology at work. I love studying psychology. Like what was the motivator that caused me to do this? Was it scarcity? Was it because that the salesperson got me to like them, and then there's some reciprocation? Was there, what went on there? And one of the best books on that is a book called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion by a guy named Dr. Robert Cialdini from Arizona State. Great book. It's, if you understand
the psychology
of persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah, if you understand human psychology, you're halfway to making your business successful.
And folks, selling is basic psychology. Selling is, a concept where everybody got to sell. Let me say, it's basic psychology that everybody has to master. A good husband sells his idea. A good husband and wife sell their ideas on their children. A good preacher sells faith on his congregation. A good teacher sells education and concepts of how to get higher education and learn concepts to their students. And so what we want to do is sell to people how to get their concepts to their people. We're going to take a quick station identification. And then we're going to come right back. We got more to talk about how you can take your ideas, sell your thoughts, sell your concepts, and how you can make more money. Because we're going to talk about when we come back why it's important to make more money. Okay, Yanik?
Absolutely.
That's important. Why it's important. We'll be right back after this station identification.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and for years I've told people that in order to have a greater life, it starts by having greater individual days. If you have a great day and you repeat that great day 7 times, you've had a great week. And you repeat that week 4 times, you've had a greater month. And then repeat that month 12 times, you've had a greater year, and you're on your way to a greater life. And it starts with that individual day. I recommend you start each day with something powerful. I call it the pure, the powerful, and the positive. Rather than starting your day with bad news, how many people got killed or how many children got snatched or how many fires there were, I recommend you start your day with something to inspire and empower and encourage you to make this day a great day. We're excited to announce the start of Jolley TV on my Facebook page. Go to Willie Jolley, Willie.Jolley on Facebook. Just go to Willie.Jolley on Facebook and get ready for a great day and a great life. Have a great day on purpose.
We're back with Yanik Silver, and this is Dr. Willie Jolley. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're enjoying it. If you're just joining us, Yanik is a world-class entrepreneur who has bootstrapped many products to go from zero to millions, and he teaches people how to do it with some simple steps. Real quick, I want to talk about, Yanik, why is it important to create wealth? Why is it important to have more money? Because some people, they say they want money, but they haven't made it important. Why is it important to be wealthy?
So a couple reasons. One is that, wealth is a true indicator of the value that you provided. I have always lived my life that I get rich by enriching others 10x to 100x in return for what they pay me. It's a real simple formula, and that's what I use as, I believe in questions dictate your answer. So that I use those as, if I'm thinking about a new product, a new service, something out there, I'm like, how do I get them to at least 10x return on what they're doing? The other thing is, money is good for what money can bring you, right?
Yes.
And it can solve a lot of problems. It can do a lot of things for you. It can make your life a lot easier, but money can't solve everything. So, there's a certain point where the most important things aren't money oriented, but a lot of people get hung up on that piece and they're like, well, I don't need money then because money's evil, or whatever the case is. But money has, like I said, so it's an indicator of the value that you provide. At the same time, when you have more money, you're able to do so much more. I always look at money as an amplifier. If you're a good person, you're going to be much more of a good person. If you're a jerk, you got way more opportunity to be a jerk now.
Right. That's exactly right. Man, this is exactly why it's important, folks, for people like a Yanik to be in the marketplace and in your mindset, in your sphere of influence. Because Yanik, he has come to America as a child, as he said, 2.5 years old from Russia. Your family didn't have much, did they?
No, $256. I remember wearing patched up jeans and just being a bit of a mess in elementary school.
Wow. And yet you were able to go and make things happen. Now you talk about make lists. You make lists. Lots of big lists. Talk about your lists.
Yeah, so I use lists for everything, right? You got your simple to-do list. What's your priority for today? What's your priority for this? Whether it's a quarter, whether it's the year, whatever it is, and you can't have that many on there. You want to boil it down to just a handful. But one of my favorite lists, Willie, you might like this, is I call it my ultimate life list. And my ultimate life list is, what do I want to be, have, do, experience? Who do I want to meet? And I really think that, a rich life equals a rich experience that you have. And your world changes by the books you read or material you study, the people that you meet, and the experiences or events that you attend. And so if I can, write down something, like I mentioned, have lunch with Richard Branson, that was on my list. Before, one time on my list was be a semi-professional beach volleyball player. You and I are in studio. You've seen my height. I'm not 6'5", and I'm about 5'8", but I can jump, and so that's why I wrote be a semi-pro beach volleyball player. I was limiting myself, and so one of my buddies is on the pro tour. And so we're IMing back and forth, and he's like, my partner just bailed on me. I'm like, dude, you need a 5'8" partner. He's like, yeah, I'll get back to you. And, within it was like an hour deadline for this last tournament, and he IMs me back. He's like, all right, you're in. And so because I had to play with him in this professional tournament, I got to join the professional association. So technically, I became a professional beach volleyball player.
Wow, which is something you talk about often in the book. He said, often we play too small, and we should play bigger. Am I right?
Absolutely. And, so what's it cost you to write something down on a piece of paper or in your computer or whatever? It doesn't cost anything, except we get worried that, someone's going to be like, oh, you can't do that. Or, we're going to get criticized, or we're embarrassed if it might not happen. But you know what? I would give you credit. One of my favorite questions recently that I've been working through is, what would you do if you knew it would fail? What would you still do even if you knew it would fail? And, a lot of people have heard that, you got 6 months to live. What would you do? But what would you do even if you knew it would fail? And that gets down to what you really, really want to do. And that's powerful.
Because it'll get your mind to think differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Now, real quick, before we go further, I want to make sure people know how to reach you, because some people might have to jump off. Where are the different places that got underground online and all the different...
Yeah.
Give them all your ways to reach you with Twitter and work where the book can be. Give everybody all that else.
All right. Yeah, so the book is Maverick Startup, available at Amazon and bookstores. They can also go to maverickmba.com, which is my blog for business. They can go to my personal blog, which is just yaniksilver.com, YANIK silver.com, and where I talk about stuff not just related to business, but personal philosophy. And then if you want to attend this underground seminar that Willie was talking about, where we've got 400 or 500 people there, best of the best in the internet space, that's at undergroundx.com.
Undergroundx.com.
And X for our 10th anniversary, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Well, let me tell you, folks, I went to the one he had here in Virginia last year, and I'm talking about the big boys come out to this one. All of the big movers and shakers. Now, you talk about ABE. ABE, what does ABE stand for?
ABE.
ABE. Associate Buying Traffic and
ABC.
Content.
ABCs.
ABC.
Yeah.
ABC.
Yeah, the ABCs. So that's how I think about anything that, in the online space, which I'm more well known for, there's a very simple formula. You got to get more people over to your site. You got to convert the people on your site, and then you got to continue fulfilling, making a great experience for them, so they continue buying over and over again. And I like simplifying things, so I always go with the ABCs of how everyone talks about. Okay, how do we get more people into our site? So the A is I start with the B's,
Okay.
and it's a little bit backward, but ABC is a good moniker for it. So B is buy, and this is the quickest way, right? Because we can buy either a Google traffic, Google AdWords, Facebook advertising. I would start with those two spots typically. Maybe some other advertising that you can buy, maybe off a blog or somewhere else, but it gives you an opportunity to target the people that you want, and then drive them to your site. And earlier we talked about selling, right? So we want our site to potentially sell, something that we are just experimenting with to see what happens to it. Now, you got to follow the rules and regulations of what's going on, if you can dry test or not. But you want to sell first, and then we can fulfill on it.
Okay.
And so by the B, we can sell by actually getting people over to our site. Let's say we're selling a book. You got a great idea for a book. You don't have to write it. You can there's probably lots of other books that are similar. I would put up a page that talks about what the book is, gets people to opt in, so they leave their name and email, and then maybe click them over to Amazon. Amazon has an affiliate program where you get paid a percentage if someone buys something, and click them over to a similar book and see what happens, if they're going to buy that one or not. So now you've kind of started to verify a little bit of the marketplace. And there's affiliate programs for everything out there, and you can start testing your idea with what you think would be the differentiating hook, and then have them go buy someone else's stuff where you make a commission, and you can just start playing with the numbers, see what's working. Now the A is associate. So the way I built up a lot of my businesses is by associating with the people that already had connections and influence in the entrepreneurial marketplace. So that instant sales letter site would get people to link over to our site, and they would get paid a commission as an affiliate. One of the best things about affiliate marketing is that you get paid only after somebody buys something. So I can have all these affiliates out there. We had 40,000 affiliates out there that were promoting some of the stuff we were doing, and we only paid them if they made a sale. So if they have a business-related site, they might put a link for instant sales letters, and then we pay them when they make a sale. And then, so you'd want to go out and attract the right affiliates, but you got to have the right metrics in place to know that your stuff sells.
Right.
And then the C is create. So that's how we start creating traffic. So it's usually via content, right? So blogging, doing videos on YouTube, anything that could be potentially social media, which is very hot right now. But that's all in that C space, that creation space, which sometimes it goes viral, sometimes it doesn't. But little by little, you're building up the snowball that continues to bring you traffic.
Wow, folks. Woo, and here's another thing I love about when you talk. You say, don't be ashamed about charging a premium.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be ashamed about it. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, this is a couple. There's a couple of things in the book that I think are counterintuitive to most people, and that's one of them is the higher prices. A lot of people think, okay, well, if I charge lower prices, then I'm going to get all the business, and that's not really true. You should work some numbers out and see, like a 10% price cut typically will mean like a 50% decrease in your margin, or sometimes 40%. It's interesting to play with those numbers, see what happens. But here's my favorite thing about charging a premium. One, you get better customers. Two, you can deliver a better experience. And right now it's about experiences for people, unless you're going to be the Walmarts of the world. And the Walmart, you got to figure out your supply chain and beat down your suppliers and get them to the lowest common denominator there. And that's not the way most people want to play or have the capacity to play. It's much more fun to play at a higher level. And, you think about like a Ferrari, right? If you bought a Ferrari tomorrow and it was $3,000, you'd be like, oh, there's something weird with that. So pricing also has a very psychological factor in having a premium experience for people. And so pricing gives you, a premium price gives you that opportunity to deliver an exceptional experience and exceptional value to them. And so we go back to my equation, that 10x to 100x. It's a lot easier to deliver 10x to 100x return if you got a little bit more margin to be able to do it.
Wow. Now, you say, get it out the door. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, get it out the door. Too many people are stuck with this. They want everything to be perfect. They are waiting for that perfect time to release their business or their idea or whatever it is. And you know what? It's never going to be right. There's never going to be a right time. It's never going to be perfect. When you put it out there, I can tell you, the book that you're holding in your hand, Willie, I want to revise that, every time you put something out there. But you can't. So you got to get it out the door, or else nothing's going to happen with it. And by getting it out the door, you're going to start seeing, are people going to buy this or they're not going to buy it? If they're buying it, then you make it even better and continue expanding on it. You create sequels to it. You create, other things, and good stuff happen. But having it sitting in your computer, nothing's going to happen.
Les Brown says, move before you're ready. And take action before everything's perfect. All the ducks don't have to be lined up. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to make a commitment that you're going to move. Go and get started. And my friend Larry Wingert says, implement now, perfect later. So, you've got to get going, folks. And many times people get stuck. Procrastination, analysis, the paralysis of analysis. I got to have it right. It have to be perfect. No, it does not. Yanik is saying to you, he's made millions of dollars by getting a mindset. Look, I'm going to get it out here. I'm going to find a market. I'm going to give them something of value. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to keep improving on it and let them know that we are here to serve them. It's about service, isn't it?
It's totally about service. And, about getting it out the door, you can trick yourself into it. Right? You set up a date, like when I put on my very first seminar, there's a date. I had to do it. If I had two people there, doesn't matter. But there was a date that happened. You can set a bet with one of your buddies, and a very embarrassing thing might happen, like you got to walk around in a Speedo around town or something. Whatever the case is, just you can trick yourself into it and make it happen.
Wow. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break. You're listening to Dr. Willie Jolley and my special guest, Yanik Silver, on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We've got enough more information and enough information to help you become wealthy, but you got to stay tuned to listen and learn it. It's coming up right after this break. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. For sure, the best is yet.
What good is a friend if you cannot depend on them when you're in need? Said you need a friend who'll be there thick and thin, and be a friend indeed. You can only call me, yes, oh yes.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and changed my thinking, invested in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
And we're back. You're listening to Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. Hope you're enjoying this. Please continue to send me your notes. I love to hear from you guys. How you like it, what you found intriguing, what you liked, what you want us to maybe add on, keep on growing. You know, we don't know unless we get feedback from you. So please go and take a moment. I want to say a special shout out to all my trucker friends out there who listen religiously as you're traveling and blessing all of us with your work. You are a blessing to America. I want to thank you for what you do. And I want to congratulate and applaud you and celebrate you. Now, everybody, we want you to grow your business. I want you to grow your business. I want you to make more money. I want you to have greater time with your family. I want you to have greater resources to make a difference and bless your church. Give a big old check to your church or to your favorite charity. You know, whatever it is, I want you to do it. Now, Yanik Silver is a person who helps people do that. And Yanik, before we get the last segment again, you got the Maverick programs, you got your book. Please tell people again where they can find you and what they can do to reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. A good place is my blog at maverickmba.com. Or if you're interested in the internet marketing space, go to undergroundx.com and, of course, pick up Maverick Startup. You know, it's a good, I don't know how much it is now, $12, $15, $18. I don't even know what it is, but it's an investment that will keep paying you back and is available on Amazon or any other bookstore.
Man, this is incredible information. I'm gonna try and get as much of this information because it's fantastic. You know what we have seen now, really big in the space right now, Yanik, is fund sourcing, and you recommend that. You encourage people.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, this is this amazing time in history where there's two things that have happened just recently that's really exciting. One is the crowdfunding that you mentioned. Kickstarter. If you put out a campaign where the opportunity is you get other people to you give them perks, right? If you said, okay, I'm going to manufacture this watch, and for $50 you get the watch, for $150 you maybe get 2 watches, for $1,000 you get to be part of the kickoff party, and all these different perks. And guess what? You just funded your business, or you figured out, is there a marketplace for this or not? And that's what's really exciting. So there's sites like Indiegogo and Kickstarter that let you do those things. The other thing that's really exciting right now, Will, is, and it's still coming up and we're still trying to figure out what exactly is going to happen, but the Jobs Act got ratified where you can actually have equity available for people in the community for that business or whatever that venture is. And so now I can donate, or not even donate, sorry, invest $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and I get a small equity piece in a business. And so they made it available now. They use crowdfunding for that as well.
Explain it a little more. I'm not quite sure if I got
So let's say I have an idea for, I don't know, a new ice cream.
Uh-huh.
I want to put out. I'm gonna. I'm the next Ben and Jerry's, but I need some capital. I need some money to get my ice cream flavors out there. But I have some, incredible ice cream flavors. So I'm gonna reach out to my friends, my family, start reaching out via Facebook and all these different methods. And I'm gonna be like, come invest in, Igloo Ice Cream Company, whatever it is. And so now they actually can become investors. They can actually get a piece of equity. And before it was limited to, you have to be what's called an accredited investor. You have to have $1 million plus net worth, and I forgot what the other dollar number was, $250,000 in personal revenue, something like that. And now that's gone away, and it's going away. So now for a small little investment, maybe $5,000, $10,000, I can own a piece of this ice cream shop. And guess what? That person's going to be much more of an advocate for the ice cream shop.
Absolutely. And do they get a dividend or something?
Yeah, they get a revenue. You said it, and that's how that crowdfunding works. But the other way that it's working that's even more exciting is you never even have to give equity. You can just say you get free ice cream for a year if you buy, $1,000 ahead of time.
Wow.
And so there's other way, that's the other side where there's no equity and you never have to pay them back, but just with perks and benefits.
That's amazing. One of the things you say that is important for any entrepreneur, any idea, people get an idea, but you got to test it. You guys test it, and keep trying it.
Yeah, so that's part of our, if we start using our ABC formula of driving some people to our site, our B, so we start buying a little bit of traffic, and then we throw it out there, see what happens. And the funny thing is, or the interesting thing is, if you have one headline, so one big, whatever your benefit-driven headline is at the top of your page, and you have a different one, maybe hitting a different angle, you're going to see different types of actions. People are going to either opt in more. They're going to potentially, if you have something for sale, they're going to buy more with different things that you try, and all sorts of different. I mean, I've literally had my friends test different colors on their website, and they've seen double-digit changes. And so it's amazing when you start getting enough people in the door, and you can start trying different things and see what happens. And it's almost like how much higher is high, and you just keep trying.
You're open to listen to folks and make changes.
Absolutely. But you listen to them, like, don't just listen only to what they say, listen to how they click and what they buy. So I think people vote with their wallets.
I think folks, did y'all hear that? Say that one more time.
Yeah, people definitely vote with their wallets.
Vote with their wallets. And that's the truth. And folks, if you are in business, and let me tell you something, that everybody in this call or listening to this show or listen online or wherever you're listening, you ought to be in your own business. You have to have your own business. Now, many of you might have jobs. That's okay, great, God bless you. But you work for that company for 8 hours. You got 8 hours to work for them. You got 8 hours to sleep. Then you got 8 hours to work on your dream. Mama may have, daddy may have, but God bless the child that got to own it. Everybody should have a little business. I have been on this entrepreneur tour with Kelvin Boston, Money Wise. Dennis Kimbrough has said it with Think and Grow Rich and What Makes the Rich Rich. He says everybody should have some little business, some little way of creating another revenue stream. Or as my friend Wintley Phipps said, you got to have a job, you got to have a business, and you got to have some little hustle that you're working on, whether it's making cakes and pies on the weekend or helping people with their computer skills. You've got some intellectual capital. Use it, share it, sell it, listen to the marketplace, and be willing to try and change and grow and go to the next level. And that's what I love about this. And then you want to create zealots and fans. Talk about that, and advocates.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite things is if you do it right, you can create people that love what you're doing so much that imagine if someone was willing to tattoo whatever your brand or company is or what you're doing on their arm, on different parts of their body. Harley Davidson has that. Apple Computers has that. Jack Daniels has that. I mean, but Harley, that's what saved them when they were going under, is because their customers were such big. They had such a big identity wrapped up into what Harley was, and you can create this in different ways. One, of course, is over delivering. Right, we talked about the value 10x to 100x. Another one is that you want to create an identity for them. We have this very high level group, the Maverick 1000s, and they live and breathe Maverick, and because that it's a very high identity to what they are. They believe in themselves being mavericks out there. You create your own languaging. You create special terminology that they use. That's why Trekkies are called Trekkies. That's why Deadheads used to follow around Grateful Dead. They called themselves Deadheads. So there's lots of ways of doing it. You create sometimes a common enemy. When I used to sell to plastic surgeons, dermatologists, the common enemy was managed care. And so having a common enemy creates bigger identity. You know, why does the military, the most elite units of military, they use different types of hazing? The SEALs have very high levels of what you have to pass to get in. You have a super high identity with being a SEAL. It's because it's very hard to get through it. So you don't have to always, you know, this even sounds counterintuitive. You don't have to let everyone buy from you. You can set up ways that they got to qualify to even buy from you. And guess what? They're going to be more tuned into what that is.
Wow. Folks, that's incredible. Now you tell people what's coming up. You share with them what's going on, what's new, what's exciting. You're always promoting, and that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, people, most people live very simple lives, and that's not a knock on them. But if you can be that source of, this is what you are on the radio, Willie, that source of inspiration, that excitement, giving them a bigger worldview, they're going to love you. So I like even having more fun. The more fun you can have in your business, the more fun your customers are going to have buying from you. So we used to do sales like Save Yanik's marriage sale, and they see a picture of me like standing, waist deep in all these boxes. And instead of just having maybe a scratch and dent sale, we had a Save Yanik's marriage sale that talks about, this room is such a mess that my wife Missy is so pissed off that she's got to, we need him out. And her problem becomes my problem, which becomes, your opportunity. And, I got a little bit of flack for it, but guess what? It's fun. And then when my two kids were born, Zach and Zoe, we each had a baby Z sale. And so exploit your children if you need to, whatever it is, but just keep it fun and keep it engaging for your customers.
Wow. These are all incredible. And see, these are the reasons why you got to go get this book, folks. These are ideas that are out the box thinking. I want everybody to go. We've talked about a number. We only got, these great interviews go so quickly, but he talks also about tapping into your mastermind, which is important. That's why you hang around quality people. Well, I have a friendship with him. I have friendships with some of the greatest thinkers, and I can get them on the phone and we can talk ideas. I can help them. They can help me. You want to create a great inner circle of quality people, and then create fun, create impact, and make a difference. I just am so blown away by Yanik. Again, one more time, Yanik, where can people get this book, and where can they reach you?
Yeah, so pick up Maverick Startup, get on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere like that. Go to maverickmba.com, which is the business blog, and yaniksilver.com is my personal blog, so YANIK.
Last minute, we got 1 minute left, and I want you, if you were closing out a class with entrepreneur students, what would you tell them were the secrets to success?
Yeah, just one thing, right? It's hard, and it really does come down to that one thing. And so I've always lived my life where every single day I want to try and make at least one little move, sometimes a big move that's proactive forward every single day. And the way I think about it is, imagine you're in this big pea soup fog. You can't see 500 yards ahead of you. You don't know, your real destination is miles down the road, but you can only see a couple hundred yards. Just go there. That's all you got to do is go those couple hundred yards that you can see, and then the next couple hundred yards are going to open up for you.
Wow, that's perfect. That's a great way to end this interview. Folks, Yanik Silver, I am honored to have him as a friend. I'm honored to have him as a cohort, and I'm honored that he would be on the show. Y'all are going to be blessed when you read this book. I want to wish you all a great day, a great week, a great month. I want you to have great success. And remember, go to my website, williejolly.com, and my new website, jollygoodnews.org. Watch the videos that will bless you and inspire you. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. This is Dr. Willie Jolley across America. And for sure, I know for sure, your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. God bless you, and live life with passion on purpose.
Tired of crying and complaining, tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair. Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion that there's nothing at all that you can do? Well, just look in any mirror and you'll see who is really truly stopping you. My, it's up to every one of us to take charge of our life and to make it what we want. If you think that it takes too much time, think again.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.